funded one camper, and they found out that no camper from Lancaster went to the camp. So Richard Belmore and the commission went back to the Berry Conservation Camp and asked for their money back. Now, what I found in the last couple of years, we have funded 4 campers. Give the check to, I can't always remember his name, he's a nice guy, Larry Barker. And we get these thank you notes. Well, not all of them are from Lancaster citizens. There's, kids from Groveton and Dalton going. Dalton's got a $75,000 conservation fund. Groveton's got a $55,000 conservation fund. I think conservation fund money, scholarship money should be spent on Lancaster kids myself, because, and that's what we finally did, is we turned the tables, so now we're not just funding camps, we just funded a $2,000 scholarship to a young woman who's studying environmental related stuff this year, and we just dispersed that. We had to, and we really had to beat the bushes to award that money. We advertised, we did everything, and I know, Ed, you can comment on this. It's been hard to find people, to get people to apply, free money, and they won't come. So I think what Belmore and the other people started doing was going to Larry Barker and saying, look, if you hear from a kid from Lancaster.
Yeah, it was 3 years that they didn't, because it was much later than that, obviously, when I was involved in it.
Yeah.
And it was something that hadn't been done for years. So, but I believe it was supposed to go for Lancaster.
Right, well, Lancaster money for Lancaster kids, and if you wanna grow a conservation conscious town, and we're all forest and water here, so we ought to, a good way to do it is to fund kids at camp, and it's the right thing to do and the beautiful thing to do, but.
Well, like I said,
I've said a lot, and I'm not trying to be antagonistic, I'm just trying to put it.
sitting here, as for the issue, obviously, we can't recreate the negative, we
Right.
looked for them, we can't find them. I think can probably provide you invoices and stuff, I'm not sure how much that really is gonna buttress what you need.
Well, the only thing that I'm concerned about is if that kind of money, if anyone was to go, someone was to go and say, well, geez, we just spent $300,000 on a dam whose title belongs to the Weeks Trust, it doesn't belong to the citizens. And if there was ever a suit about that, we need to have our facts together in some place so that we can defend ourselves. I don't think there's anything to defend. I think it was all, from what I can tell, smart people worked on it. It's just not documented.
I believe the town will be covered because that was a vote at town meeting, and it included the full.
Well, no, the only one I've seen is the last money in for $50,000, and there's a $25,000 first money in, but that $75,000 is less than
The total money in
$300,000.
was 50, 2 years voted 25.
But that's still less than 300. I don't have a solution. All I'm asking is, can we look into it, document it, and go forth? And the ultimate thing that I wanna know is what money do we have to work with in the conservation fund going forward?
I showed you at the end of the 17 audit, it was, 6,000 and,
Yeah.
16,000.
Yeah, it's about 16,000, something like that.
And that's from 2004 to 2017, I haven't got the, or 2018, I haven't got the 19 audit.
Yeah, we don't have 18 in here either, we have
19.
17. Yeah. And I hope you recognize that, I got the town of Lancaster's interest at heart. My family gave her a big conservation easement, made all the watershed protection possible by putting that in. But I think the most important thing is the citizens of Lancaster and do best, and I think that Lancaster does very well by their citizens few bumps and stuff like that. But that, you know, that's why I'm on the commission, not because I wanna keep somebody from building something because there's a cross-eyed newt in the river or something like that. But on the other hand, there's an awful lot of money that's being spent downstate that we should, you know, we're sending our taxes down there and that should come up here.
Speaking of that, Rob, where is the committee on finding a project?
On which,
On having a project ready to go? So,
we just,
so like when the pipeline was here,
yeah,
that $140,000 that were turned away because Lancaster did not have a project?
you have to, I'm gonna preface this by saying that I'm speaking, I have no portfolio to speak for the chairman.
Yeah, no,
But the chairman and I, we discussed it in the committee. I proposed that maybe, I was thrashing around looking for things, and frankly, I came up with some dumb ideas. One was, we could somehow use the money to buy a conservation easement on the island over here. And then Ben said, well, we already own it, so how can we do that? We can't put money in our own pocket. We concluded that we didn't have a project ready, and that we should.
is the committee looking forward, so if that opportunity arrived again, that you would have a shovel-ready project?
I can tell you that I am, and that lip service has been given to that idea.
Mhm.
But if anybody has any projects, you know, if it's that ARM fund, which is the River Rehabilitation Fund, it has to be a wetland-related project. I hope that maybe if the town right-of-way to the town forest up there, said to be really wet, if that's a wetland, maybe we could put a proposal together to somehow mitigate something like that. And you know, you can work wetlands, you can interfere with one wetland by creating another wetland somewhere else, right?
Right.
A substitution. Well, one of the problems we have in this town is we can't connect with the OHRV trails
Right.
because we're waterlogged.
Right.
Well, maybe we should find a project so we can, you know, get a trail going, so that if that's something that's important to the town, it's not important to me, I don't particularly care for them, but I think it's important to a lot of people in the town. But anybody who has any ideas, if you have any ideas how we could find a project like that,
I've gotta tell you, I'm biting my lip pretty hard over here.
we just bring it up. Well, nothing's fun without a fight. But if anyone has any ideas, bring them to us, because I think you find that we don't have a plan, but we would like to have a plan.
Okay,
Because we sure hated to see the $140,000 go down the,
yeah, I hated to see that as well.
yeah. And there's, you know, there's lots of things, well, you live on the riverbank,
Yeah, I
you know, there's riverbank things, there's all sorts of things that can be done for flood protection, so let's,
Once you dig out around that new bridge.
Yeah.
yeah, we should have a tunnel, I think, don't you?
Move it off.
But anyway,
Make a motion, we, close the, public hearing.
You can't make the motion.
I'd like to make.
Oh, was that a hit? I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the vote was to accept or not,
I'll make a
unanticipated.
motion to accept the $10,500 from the New Hampshire CARES Act, or the CARES Act funding, in the amount of $10,500 to support the Police Athletic League,
I'll second that.
And authorize Ed to sign.
and authorize the town manager to sign all documents required. Still second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
the ayes have it.
Alan, you've been so quiet.
I couldn't get a word in there. No, let me say this, and I know Lucy's gonna disagree with it, but the biggest thing in conservation, if they're looking for places to plant money, is to do it for the Heritage Trail and the snowdrifters, and mitigate some wetlands, because you know, the problem is, there's too many wetlands in Lancaster. And the solution is not to let the Conservation Commission run ramshod with everybody and say, oh, you're in a wetland, you're in a wetland. We don't like what you're doing, so we're gonna report you. The solution is, how can we drain them and like Charlie Fitch says, those mosquitoes are gonna find a place to breed, don't worry about them. a quote from
I'm
Charlie
with you,
Vick.
I'm with you on that. I think conservation commissions have reputations for kind of being obstructionist and blocking things. But that's not how it works in my mind. It's supposed to
But
do
it
the
has,
best for the
it has,
town.
it has in the past.
Yes, of course it has.
They built a conservation map, wetlands map for this town that, what it said was that every piece of land you could build on was already built on, and you would do no more building. That's how strict that wetlands map was. And people stopped referring to it because they knew they couldn't do it, you know? It was counterproductive. You got 3 big motels, you got the one out by Four Doors, and you got one downtown, you got the Lancaster Motel. All dependent on tourism, all dependent on snow machine, cross-country ski, snowshoes, et cetera, and if you could make we've got the forest trail system in the North Country, and it's not because of lack of trying, but snow drifters, it's because of wetlands.
Right.
And it's gonna take a lot of money to adjust it, but could be done. I mean, your conservation commission, your heritage trail, they'll go build a log bridge and get by. Well, we can't do that with the machines and stuff like that.
Well, it was like, again, one of my suggestions to the select board, when they decide to, if we make any money harvesting the timber, maybe use some of that money to improve that right-of-way that we already own, so that it can be passed. It's pretty wet right now by all reports. See, I don't even know if that's practical, because I haven't walked out through there, but that's the sort of thing that comes to mind. People.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, the beavers up there create more wetlands every year, so.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely on the east side of the town forest, you're on the downhill side of that on Causeway Street, but up on the other side, it's a little bit higher. Well, thank you for giving ear to what I had to say. I'm not trying to be anything but coming up with a solution. And life's too short to argue.
Yeah, anything else?
I just had a couple things, just a little housekeeping. Ed, where are we at with smoking teas? Well,
Yeah,
is that done or?
that was given to them,
Okay.
$8,000.
All right. Can you say anything about the sidewalks not being plowed last week? Why that
When
was?
were they not plowed?
What did it say? It's Thursday, Saturday, something like that.
Saturday was a big storm.
Not Saturday, it would have been before the storm, Friday. I don't either, I
I
gotta.
gotta know, it didn't snow until Saturday.
Yeah, but this was leading up to the storm, they hadn't been plowed. It was a mess of.
Friday night, we got a,
Yeah, I'm just asking because we spent such a lot of money on a sidewalk plow, so people
But
wondering where the plow was.
And I think Lucy brought it up earlier, I know on Middle Street, it had been plowed, but then the state dragged the plow back
Oh,
by and
through
threw
That was a mess,
a mess back on it.
yep.
So that was just a matter of, okay, they went through, they cleaned the sidewalk off,
Right.
then the state truck went by and
Right.
basically screwed up everything
Oh,
they
I
did.
don't know what
The- the-
sidewalk
that-
specifically.
This was on Main Street, when I got the complaint. Just a it wasn't really a complaint, I shouldn't say a complaint, it was a question. You know, we spent a lot of money on a sidewalk plow, is it broke?
Well, I think also I can quote a saying in the past was that the sidewalks wouldn't be 100% or wouldn't be done up right until the town roads were open, that it was a kind of a secondary thing.
Correct.
The sidewalks being a secondary thing to the highways.
Mhm.
You know,
But they kinda done simultaneously
Yeah,
now,
they're
based
done,
on the equipment.
right.
But, I'm not aware of them not being done.
Okay,
I mean, I walk that Summer Street, Main Street, North Main Street loop, weekly, daily. There's only been a couple mornings the sidewalk plow has actually been out before 7 o'clock. Overtime
is a problem.
is at an all-time low. No, it's been kept back. I mean, this morning, they didn't come out, they needed to put some salt on the, busy intersections. There was just a minute snow. I don't,
No, I'm just following up, I had a person approach me about it, and I just.
yeah, well, I just,
Do my due
I don't
diligence and
know what they would have been talking about, because as far as I know, they were opened up on a regular basis.
Okay. Good. That's all I had.
Second, all those in favor? Aye?
I'm in favor.